This is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course, we are out here hooking you up with the best of the best interviews. And today we have a special guest. Guest, please just introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Vivian Njeri. I'm a freelance wardrobe stylist. Yeah.
So I was looking at your bio, and your bio reads wardrobe stylist and buyer. So I just want to know, what does this really mean? What does it entail?
Buyer for film purposes, like when you're on a big set, there's someone who usually just goes shopping for whatever is needed. Like clothes that are needed, something that needs to be bought. So that's what wardrobe buyer means.
Yeah, and then now, when we look at what you're doing right now, is it something, a skill that is self-taught? Is it something that maybe somebody can go to school and learn? Where did you get the skill? Did you learn from other people? How was it?
First of all, when I got into the industry, I was a makeup artist. But then I got an interest in wardrobe, just knowing like how clothes are put together, how you do everything. So I learned it from the second set I think I went to, and then everything else has just been self-taught. But in Kenya, we don't have anywhere you can go and learn wardrobe unless you have a passion for styling and just coordinating nice outfits together. Yeah, I don't think we don't have one. Maybe in the States, or when we get our market grows a bit.
Yeah. Another thing we can also talk about is that now, let's say we have a film and you are contracted to become a stylist for the film. Like, what do you look at in order to say it's okay, I can work with you guys?
Nothing much really. Just if you have a good story, like basically you have a nice script, you've put together a crew, you're organized. Yeah, and you want to work with me, so it's also a privilege for me to work with you, because there are some jobs, not all jobs you'll say you don't want to work with, because most of them it's what is it called? It's a stepping stones to something else. You get, so yeah. You just, when you get contracted, I think basically if someone contracts you, they've already seen you have nice work, so they'll come as a package.
So how do you determine personal style? Maybe you are given a film. Do you maybe try to find out the mode in order to understand how to dress a certain actor? Like, how do you do it? What's your criteria for doing that?
So first of all, you read the script and understand it. And I read the script and understand it myself, how the story looks. Then I meet with the maybe director, like maybe all departments, each department. We meet everybody. The director tells us what he wants, how he feels, how the feel has to feel. The art person tells you how the color is going to be. You get how the mood is. So styling depends on the mood and what the director really wants. And also you can also look at the personality of the actor themselves, because there's something you dress them and like, no, it won't make them feel comfortable. So personality, you balance with what the script actually wants and what the director wants.
I also want you to talk about pressure to deliver, just as we have talked about you reading the script and looking at finding the mood and then dressing the actors. Do you sometimes feel like it has to be the other way around? The mood is now created by how you dress the artist. Does it happen sometimes like that?
Yeah, it does. Because even me, I can feel this is a certain way. The director wants it a certain way. So at times we try and balance, or tell them maybe have a look at the actor before they go on set, see how they look. What do you think about this? I changed this and this. Like, if it works, fine. At times you have to kidogo to just put a little, you try and push it kidogo. But then as long as you have you've just like everything that you're doing is according to what has been set. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We can also talk about, like, for still just talking about film, and I just want to know, like, for you, where do you personally search for clothes? Do you maybe manufacture? Do you have a network of stylists, so you can just make a phone call and outsource something if you need it? Or how does it go?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Buying, because if maybe you're staying on a long film, maybe for months, you can't go to a shop and ask them to hire something for maybe a month or 2 months. For long films, you buy. For short films, maybe something that is not long, or maybe an advert, just something that is not long, also you can hire, but mostly I buy. And then maybe if I'm doing now personal styling, then that depends. You can talk to other stylists or just get your own fundi to make something from scratch, depending on what you also want to achieve.
So generally, just as a stylist, how do you deal with clients who want, there are these clients, I know maybe you have met them or you have not met them, clients who just want a particular piece for them. They don't want anything common that any other person has. They just want a common particular piece for them and them only.
I
So
have met
such issues?
I've met some, but then now for those ones, you now you meet with the client or the person that wants the outfit. You discuss what they want. You discuss what they want. They tell you. So I come up with different looks, and then I send them. Then they decide if that's what they want. We can change this and this. So then no one else will wear it, because if you got a stylist to style you, it's not like buying something from a shop. It's kind of custom made for you. So maybe someone else now can copy it from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing is that usually comes up is, when you talk about fashion, you're talking about trends, and they're usually trends every day, like new trends every day. So for you, do you follow trends sometimes, or do you just focus on, let me try to be unique, even if there are trends, new market trends every day, at least you bank on your uniqueness?
Yeah, I think for one, as a stylist, you should bank on your uniqueness, because that now is what makes you you. Trends, you can maybe twitch a little bit, maybe if the client wants something particular that is happening then, but you also have to keep with the trends, maybe colors, patterns. You keep up with what is happening, but now do it in your own way. Yeah, you do it in your own. Yeah, so it makes you a bit, because I think styling itself is what makes you unique, because styling someone just because that's how you envision it. Yeah, so that's kind of uniqueness. I think that's what makes it unique.
So you can also name some of the films or maybe short films that you have been working with them, so that guys can know what you really deal with.
So there's a short film. It was a web series. It's called Majuto. I don't know if you've watched it. I did a couple of shows. Kitambo, I did Vashita. I've done Anti-Boss. Recently, I've done Crime and Justice. And just something else. A few shows that will still coming pole pole.
Do you feel like the market is now accepting stylists, because you have even talked about working on Crime and Justice, and that's a big movie. So do you feel like Kenyans are starting to be receptive? Because you will tell somebody you are a stylist and they're like, what are you really doing? So do you think we are moving on to somewhere better?
And that will also create jobs for different people. And then also our film industry is growing, and a lot of people want to attend maybe red carpets or meet and greets or networking, and everyone wants to look nice. So you get your own personal stylist just to give you that feel of appearing where you want to appear the way it needs to. You get?
For your job,
so we are accepting.
yeah, for your jobs now, like an opportunity like crime and justice. So do they hire you because maybe they have seen your previous projects, or do you have friends who maybe believe in what you're doing, then they call you up for these opportunities?
It's a bit of both. Some you get references, someone who I've worked with her, I know her work, or I've seen her work somewhere. And then there's someone who has actually seen projects that you've done. So it's a bit of both, references and also jobs that you've done.
I want to know if you have ever experienced self-doubt and how you dealt with that.
Yeah, a lot. You're like, sometimes you're like, oh, does it look nice? Or does it look nice? And then you just go with your gut feeling. Always trust your gut feeling. If you, because there's a voice tells you, it got too sour deep inside. And then, but in your head, you're like, no, I don't think it's okay. So always go with your gut feeling. I always go with my gut feeling. I'm like, it looks nice. And at the end, you're like, wow, it actually looks nice. So yeah, it happens a lot. Sometimes you're like, Aiko. You're not very sure.
Okay, and so let's say that maybe because this is an industry that is guys are practicing all over the world. Like, who do you really follow in order to, like, who do you really look up to in whatever you are doing, and maybe why? And you can tell us some of the projects that they have been part of.
I have a couple of people I look up to. I have my HOD, he's called Dan. He's really nice. He's done a lot of projects. So I look up to him because he's organized. He just has a certain way of doing his work. And there are some more also stylists that I follow, people who just do their own thing from scratch. They make their own outfits, they design and they style people. I follow a lot of people, so I can't really tell, concentrate on one, because people are growing. The industry is really growing and people are doing amazing projects. So even I want one day to do.
Yeah, so there's also another issue we can talk about, and I think you are the right person to answer this because maybe you know it. So there is this issue where you see, like, for majority of Kenyans, most of our clothes come from abroad, and they're usually, even if I talk to many tailors, they're usually like, in Kenya, we really don't have companies that are producing like Kenyan made fabric. So like the fabrics that maybe we use come from other countries, probably from West Africa. Do you think such things make your work a little bit tedious because we don't have like ready-made, we don't have raw materials in Kenya?
Yeah, it does, because then it makes things a bit more expensive, and a lot of Kenyans have not come to the idea of custom making things or just ordering something and having it made from scratch. So the raw material is what I think makes everything expensive. So when you can afford it, to just make something nice for once in a while. Maybe if we get a chance to maybe make our own raw material and just have our own fabric, our own, what is it called? Our own, we do it everything from scratch, it would really help. But also things from abroad also, some come cheap, some come costly. So also I think balancing, when you're able, you balance.
What do you think can be changed in your industry for you guys to flourish? Already you have talked about, at least you have started seeing some acceptance, you have been called to feature in major films. What do you think can be changed so that you guys have a conducive working environment and even compete globally?
I think if we have, there are things called showrooms or pool houses where they have all sorts of costumes. If you want ballroom costumes, if you want official costumes, if you want leather costumes, like they have clothes of all kinds, different showrooms. So if a stylist needs something if a stylist needs to style someone in a certain way, and maybe they don't have the budget, or the budget is not very conducive and you still want to get nice outfits, you go to those houses, hire whatever you're hiring, and then use it and then return it. So that, like, access to nice outfits, I think that would make us really change a lot.
As we are finishing up, you can just talk about the most important lesson that it may be one or two or even three that you have learned all over the years that you have been practicing.
Patience. Be very patient, like, because everybody, you're dealing with a lot of people from different walks of life, they handle things differently. So be patient with everyone, listen, be keen, and just do you. Just do you. That's what I've learned. Yeah.
Do you have any future goals or projects that you're working on that you would like to share, or maybe the contract doesn't allow you to share?
No. I'm sure you'll get to know very soon.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Bye.